Chapter 6.4 The Fiery Heart of the Ironhide. Retta walked towards the back room with a mix of excitement and anxiety. She had a lead, a real lead, on her mom, and it was a hallway away. Her heart trembled, her hands shook, and her vision tunneled. The noise of the crowd faded beneath her heartbeat. The baton resonated. It felt warmer, grew brighter, and Retta embraced it. She focused on its light, approached the door, and the world fell unnaturally still. Retta stopped and didn't hear a single patron behind her. No, something isn't right. She turned, and behind her, the patrons had stopped. The color drained from their skin. They stood as still as statues. The world was silent, and everything was black and white. "What's happening?" she whispered and looked at the baton. Its glow intensified. "Don't screw me like you did with Jimbo. If I get stuck frozen like this because of you." A voice from behind interrupted her. The voice of her mom. Celeste. "Hey, kid." She sounded confident and warm, the way Retta always remembered. Red twisted back, looked toward the back room, and saw her mom talking to Juniper. But she was black and white. Both she and Juniper were monochrome, the same way Celeste looked when Retta saw past memories of Celeste and Vickery. Juniper oogled at the sight of Celeste. "Whoa, you're Celeste Starlight." "And you're Juniper. Or should I say..." Celeste leaned in, whispered to Juniper, and Juniper blushed in black and white. Don't worry, it's our little secret," Celeste said with a wink. "Can I ask you a few questions, Miss Almadani? In private, if it's better for you?" Retta took note of the name. Miss Almadani. That's Karada's last name. Is this a relative? Her sister? Juniper clammed up and was surprisingly meek. Her voice was adorably mousy and quiet, but made it hard to hear. What kind of questions?" Juniper was dodgy, and Celeste knew her type. Juniper was scared who might hear and what she might reveal. Celeste looked both ways before saying, "It's about Stella and the bot she recently got." Juniper clammed up, her lips quickly shut. "I'll be honest," Celeste said. "I want to make sure you're safe. We don't need to talk, but you may be getting involved with something bigger than you know." Juniper paused and looked at the ground. No, it's okay. We can talk." "Okay," Celeste said, but noticed Juniper was still tense. "It'll be better private. Does this back room work?" Yes, it does." "All right," Celeste said, opened the door, and led Juniper inside. The door shut, and when it did, color returned. It starred at the door, spread across the walls, and rippled out, returning Retta to reality. The sounds of the bar returned. The smell of alcohol breezed in the air. The floor felt sticky again, and Juniper's back room was mere feet away. Now Retta knew why the baton pulled her to Karada's album, to Io, and to this bar. "You've got a connection to my mom, Miss Almadani. Let's find out more." In Retta's hesitation, another woman passed by her and stuck out like a sore thumb. She was an Ironhide, but didn't dress Ironhide. Her long, silky black hair swayed with grace as her black heels tapped against the floor with poise. Her chin was held high over her purple dress with trimmed gold. It was the antithesis to Nika's gaudy overindulgence in gold. Yet she was a similar age, with strikingly crystal blue eyes, and had the air of a model. Such grace was not easily forgotten, but Retta couldn't place how she knew her. With quiet tact, the woman opened Juniper's door and slipped inside. Now, Retta was even more curious. Who's this now? Retta leaned against the neighboring wall, scrolled on her link to look less suspicious, and eavesdropped inside. The baton radiated at her wrist, and Retta got a new idea. "You want to help me this time?" It pulsed, and Retta focused on the feeling. She remembered how she felt when Juniper sang, and the baton resonated. If I can focus on that feeling, maybe I can connect to Juniper directly. Faint whispers of voices echoed all around Red, but a single voice sounded just like Juniper's. There. Red's mind snapped onto the voice like a fishing line, and Retta felt connected. I'm finally getting this. She connected with Juniper inside. Shh, the older woman said, and Retta heard it as if she was in the room. Is this room silent? The conversation felt eerily close, like it echoed in Red's head between her ears. No, Juniper responded to the woman. Not yet. Use your augment, the woman said, with a voice as smooth as silk. Make it silent. Juniper focused her thoughts and visualized the sound waves in the room. They came into focus, and in an instant, she created counter sound waves. A bubble of silence, of cancelled noise, protected the room. No prying ears would hear their conversation, but that didn't include the baton, which let Retta slip into Juniper's mind. What was that song? The older woman said, and Retta heard her heels click against the ground. It was a song I wrote. About the bots? And the Ironhide? Do you know what Nexus would do if they heard that? The older woman sighed. We are so close to getting you a stage in the Outer Reach. So close. Then your message can really be heard. I know, Juniper said, sounding despondent. We've worked so hard to get Nexus here. So hard to get the Fairskins to let us perform at the Glass Palace, she said, almost pleading. And as an Ironhide, I believe in your message. I feel the power in your song. But Nexus can't hear that. The Fairskins can't hear that. If they do, we'll be back to square one. We'll waste this opportunity. Yeah, Juniper agreed, in more lip service than earnestness. We need to be smart. We need to play their game until they can't kick us off the stage. I know it feels wrong, but one day it'll feel right. Yeah, please, leave Juniper behind, Kurata. Retta was confused, but did her best to suppress it. Red didn't need Juniper accidentally hearing her thoughts like Luca did. This silly wig, this makeup, this isn't you, the woman said. I want you to perform as you, with your message, but we need the platform first if we want your message to be heard. Retta pieced it together. Juniper was Kurata's cover-up act. That meant Celeste didn't mean Juniper Almadani. She meant Kurata Almadani. Okay, Stella, Kurata said. Stella. The name made it click. Retta knew the woman looked familiar. She saw her face in Nika's photo with Luca and Tobias. She's Stray Dog Stella, of the Vicious Six. Good, Stella responded. I'll meet you back home. Stella walked away, but stopped, took a breath, and turned back to Juniper to say, We're almost there. I promise. I'm just trying to do what's best for you. Before leaving. Trying to do what's best for you, Retta thought. Sounds like Tobias. Stella opened the door, and Retta kept pretending to scroll her link. She left out the back exit. Retta took one last glance and noticed the glint of a silver necklace. Silver doesn't match gold, and she seems like the type to notice a clash. It must be sentimental. Once Stella left, Retta finally had her opportunity with Juniper, or Kurata, alone. She texted Tobias before she went in. I found Stella. She's on your list, right? Wow, you found her. Even while staying inside the ship, like I told you? That must have been tough. You knew I wasn't going to stay. Ugh, yeah, I know. Well, good job, little Celeste. Where's she at? Just left this bar. I'll send the location. Where are you? Catching up with a friend. Meet me back at the ship. And actually be there. Retta stowed away her link. I'll be there. Right after this. She went to Juniper's door, knocked, and heard muffled from inside, "You can come in." Retta cracked the door ajar and said, "Hello, you're Juniper, right?" "Yes, I am." "Hi," Retta said and stepped inside. "My name's Red. I'm a writer, and I have to say, there was something special to your music." "Oh, thank you." "Really? The Ironhide absolutely loved it," Retta said, and Karada brimmed with a smile. You could see and feel how connected they felt with the music. "Could I do a quick interview with you, if you have time?" "Sure." Juniper gestured to a crystalline chair beside her. It was made from diamond, shimmering with opalescent brilliance from the light above. Diamond pipes lined the ceiling like molding and radiated a soft, ambient red glow that draped the room. Retta grabbed the surprisingly light diamond chair, pulled it over, and sat face to face with Juniper. "Diamond chairs," Retta said for small talk. "What an interesting place EO is." "It definitely is unique," Juniper responded. Retta pulled out her notebook, flipped the paper pages, and the rustling sound caught Juniper's attention. "Is that a paper notebook?" "Yeah, I still like doing things the old way. It has a homier feel, you know?" Retta's comment was a subtle nod to the Ironhide skepticism of the bots, and an indirect attempt to build rapport. Retta clicked her blue pen and began the interview. "So, first things first, the basics. What's your name?" "Juniper." "Just Juniper?" "Yes." "All right. Shouldn't have expected a last name so quickly," Retta thought. Moving along. "So, Juniper, like I said, the Ironhide loved your music." "Thank you." "What was your inspiration?" My inspiration." Juniper leaned back in her chair, a bit more relaxed as conversation started. "I think this planet." "Okay, go on. What do you mean?" "You come to EO," Juniper began, "and all you see is rain. It's unwelcoming. It's cold. The streets are soulless," she continued. "And that is what people see. That is how people see us. But once you get past that hard and rough exterior, like the glass and the diamonds," she said, looking hopefully up at the lava molding tubes above, "there's this warmth, this fire, this passion inside." Retta was impressed. Clearly Juniper was seasoned in interviews, and she was prepared for a question like this. She was poised, she shed any semblance of mousiness, and she was galvanized by the passion she had for this planet. "I think what inspires me is our people. We are resilient and hard like diamonds, but our hearts are soft and warm like lava." "That's beautiful," Retta said, "and naturally poetic for an artist like you. Speaking of your people, I spoke with one, Davin, at the bar." "Oh, I know Davin," Juniper said with a smile. "Yeah, he's very social," Retta teased, feeling Juniper warm up with the interview. "He said you just got it, and that times are changing." "What did he mean?" "Well," Juniper responded, "EO is a proud planet. We pride ourselves on our minds, and slowly, things are changing. Being in the inner colonies, we hardly felt the influence of the outer reach until now." "What happened now?" "The bots. First, they came to aid the Fairskins. Then they came to help us in the mines. Then they replaced us in the mines, and now..." Juniper paused. "And now they're replacing us in art, too." "Replacing you in art? How so?" "Well, in Karada's show." "Go on." "You don't know?" "No, I don't." "Oh, I thought you were here for the show," Juniper said. "Most outsiders are. They're using it to showcase what bots can do." "Like what?" "Like replacing the dancers." "Really?" "Yes, all of them." Juniper sounded angry, though tempered. "I don't like it. It lacks that human warmth, that natural touch, that Ironhide heart of fire," Juniper said. "I know you and Karada are very different artists," Retta said, knowing the truth but playing coy. "If you could say anything to Karada, what would you say?" Juniper took a second, gathering up what she'd tell herself. I would tell her that she worked too hard to waste her platform promoting the things that will replace her. Interesting. And if you had her platform, what would you do? I would show the rest of the galaxy the fiery heart of the Ironhide. I love that. Retta's baton glowed bright, and she felt a very strong connection with Juniper from the interview. She clicked her pen, closed her notebook, and outstretched a hand. Juniper, thank you for taking the time to talk with me. A pleasure, she said, and clasped her hand with Retta's. The baton glowed bright, brighter than it had ever glowed before. There was a strong, direct connection between Retta and Karada as they touched. Retta looked up at Karada and saw the black of her pupils grow wider and expand, so much so that the black spilled out and spread into thin air before obscuring everything in sight. The darkness spread as if it were part of a dream. It felt surreal, consuming the entirety of light around her, and it transported Retta to a different plane of reality.